Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I don't know what to call this. I was thinking wrestling club, but I don't want to step on anyone's toes around here with like movie club and all that jazz. So we'll call it wrestling club for now. This is unofficial. This isn't a Patreon stream or anything, or I might get in trouble for calling it wrestling club, but we'll see what happens. Who cares? We're gonna roll the dice today. Is everything sounding okay before I get too deep in the weeds here? Is the music too loud or too low? I know I just asked before recording, but I have to do it every time. Johnny heads, I'm telling. Don't tell on me. Elbow Club, that's pretty good. Johnny pay-per-view. Buff Bros Hour. I like Johnny pay-per-view. That's pretty good. Yo, what's happening? It's your boy Johnny pay-per-view. We're out here talking about wrestling news. So.
What do you guys want to talk about?
Wait, hold on. You guys didn't hear that at all. Hold on. Let me raise it up more.
What do you guys want to talk about?
So what do you guys want to talk about? Trick question. I have a whole plan of wrestling news to cover today. Every time I fuck with my window, I destroy my whole setup here. So that's why I keep getting distracted. Yeah, I should call it the go home show. Yeah, fuck it. Anyway. Shall we get into our first bit of wrestling news here? Gotta look at my shit. Gotta look at my shit. Okay. This is gonna be better than the Wrestling Observer, so everyone's gonna have to cancel their subscriptions to that and subscribe to your boy. Okay. Let's talk about the biggest, hottest thing in wrestling currently, and that is this last weekend, Saturday, live on pay-per-view. Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn occurred on the Elimination Chamber. This is a big match. I'm not a big WWE head, so I was watching this, so that's crazy. Fightful shaking right now, you know it. Just wanted to talk about this because it's a big deal here. Obviously, I just want to say before I get really deep into this, I am not that well versed in the wrestling world or history. Just having fun here, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. But I didn't watch the whole pay-per-view. I watched a little bit of the Women's Elimination Chamber match, and I think I watched Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. I watched all of that, and then I did watch the main event, which was Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns. So out the gate, they didn't even start wrestling, and they're in the ring, and the crowd is going insane. I don't know if anyone out there watched the match, but it felt like an eternity before they even started wrestling. And I was watching it with Derrick a little bit, and he was kind of like, this is boring. But me personally, I love that sort of stuff. I love when wrestlers don't have to do much to get the crowd just unglued. Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, they just were in the ring, and the crowd was already chanting, "This is awesome." I love that shit. But besides that, I'm going to be frank with you guys. I used to watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT every week a couple years ago, but ever since I got really into New Japan, I stopped watching, and then that led into AEW and all that jazz. So I haven't really watched the WWE product in a long time. I've seen bits and pieces whenever people say that there is like a good match. I watched the Clash at the Castle match when everyone kind of lost their mind over that. But so this was weird to me. Like, I'm not used to the WWE style. I do think you can have really great matches in that style, and I think Sami and Roman definitely did. But for me, like, I really like chain wrestling, and they definitely get there eventually. But like, I forgot how much it was like, one move, sell, one move, sell for a long time, go to the outside. Like, I was kind of like, I'm so used to AEW just fucking spot, flippy shit. I was kind of like, oh, okay. This is taking me back. So for me, the match was kind of like, at first wasn't really hitting, but then like a switch flipped in me and I was really, those false finishes, towards the end were spectacular. When Sami, like, there was a point where I think Roman hit the spear or Superman punch or something, and I was like, that's it, 1, 2, 3, and my man kicked out, and I literally had to, like, get out of my seat. And I'm not a WWE head at all, and I was like, oh, I started screaming. Sorry, I haven't really been looking at the chat. Johnny just got done meeting Ethan Page and Danhausen. I might be in his next vlog rocking my Mega 64 tracksuit. That's awesome, dude. But anyway, yeah, great kick out moments that were like blowing my fucking mind. I also don't know much about the Bloodline story except for like what I saw at the Rumble. I kind of know bits and pieces. I know like it's like Roman and the Usos, and then now Sami Zayn joined, and now he's turned on them, or they have turned on him. So just to wrap up my feelings about the match, I thought it was good. I'm not a big WWE fan, but I had a good time watching. I definitely yearn for that more strong style, New Japan style, or even just like, strong style. I was gonna say PWG style, but I'm gonna say AEW style. But I didn't feel. I'm trying to formulate my words here. I didn't feel like unentertained. Like I wasn't not entertained by this match. Just wasn't used to that style. But at the end of the day, I thought it was pretty good. What did you guys think? Did you guys enjoy it? It's crazy how good Sami is. I hated him when he was on screen half a year ago, and now he's someone I get hyped to see. I loved El Generico, I love the Sami love. Very much love the New Japan AEW formula. Yes, I think their in-ring is really good. We'll get into AEW stuff later, and where the company currently stands. Don't worry about that stuff. But and I don't want to be a hater. If something is not my cup of tea, I really don't like to shit on. I hate this whole bullshit with wrestling where it's like, you like AEW, you suck. You like WWE, you suck. Who cares? It's fucking wrestling. Right now, it's all kind of whatever. WWE. Oh, okay. So let's continue here. I didn't even get to the best part. Let's talk about the ending a little bit. I'm gonna spoil the match. Sorry if anyone out there wants to watch it. Are you familiar with Zayn and Owen's history? Yes, I am. So to a bunch of marks out there's dismay, Sami Zayn did happen to lose the match. I don't agree with it. But it's hard to say because we're in Montreal. They love Sami there. It just felt like it was just electricity. It was there in the moment. And to just have that crowd be stunned into like, it wasn't even a good like, oh, reaction. It was like people were leaving. I saw like, you can see in the background, they're like, yeah, fuck this. And they started leaving. I feel like there's a difference between the like heat you get when someone loses and the heat you get when someone like is in their moment. Yeah, I think he should have won the title there. And even if he like happened to like lose it to Cody at WrestleMania, like who the fuck cares? Give Sami his moment. I think that would elevate Sami more than actually it's hard Because if he beats Roman Reigns and then Cody beats him, it's like, damn, dude. I do think Sami will be winning the title at a later date. I don't think it's like, I mean, you guys can tell me more if you guys are more well versed in WWE knowledge. But I don't know, it seems hard to ignore the just like extreme love he just got even before this match. TBH, Roman losing the pay-per-view before Mania would have been an insane move. Yeah, I agree with that. The company built up Sami to beat Roman rather than they have built Cody to challenge Roman. I agree with that as well. We'll also get into some Cody Rhodes stuff after this. I mean, let's just do a triple threat, and it's 2 pins. Okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I can see them making it a triple threat match. But we'll see what happens. Oh, no. I hate the current mud dad, Cody. Yep. I do love the discourse of AEW got their fill of Cody. But he knew what he did kind of wrong. We'll get into Cody later. Heyman is hilarious. Okay. So anyway, let's get back to Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns here. Okay, we talked about Kevin Owens' run-in, our feelings on the belt, or the outcome. So let's go to the next thing I have written here. Where does Sami go? What does Sami do next? I assume he'll have a Mania match with like one of the Usos. Or it's Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens versus the Usos. That would be my guess. I don't know. Anyone who's more well-versed in WWE, I don't know. I haven't been watching Raw or SmackDown. But that's what it looked like from Elimination Chamber. But I don't know. I feel like they've done that before. I feel like we've seen Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn partner, turn on each other, be partners, and turn on each other like a million times now. How many times can we keep doing that? They set up the tag match on Raw. Oh, is that actually going to be the Mania match? Or is that just a like Raw match? I'm going to lower the music a little bit here. Just in case when Worlds Collide starts playing. The idea I've been seeing is a tag idea. Sami asked KO to team up, and KO said no. Okay. See? That's what I'm talking about. That's awful. They had it. They had it there. It was bottled. The lightning was in the bottle. They were just afraid. And I understand why they're afraid. We can't sit here and be like, oh, make Sami champ. They've built Roman up for so fucking long. I was at Raw 25th anniversary, and the fucking arena was shaking when they were booing that fool. And now people like him, and I feel like they're not gonna let go of that for a while. It's like if WrestleMania 30 happened without Bryan in the main event. Yeah. I remember that. That match was pretty good, if I recall. Anyway, so we're kind of wrapping up our thoughts on Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. Any thoughts you guys have before we move on? I want to get y'all's input as much as possible, because I like your guys' input. Really bummed out they're going the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens route again. I mean, I haven't watched in a minute, but you're gonna hear me say that a million times. But I really feel like they've done that to death. Just disappointed. All the build led to this, I assume. Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And I wasn't even watching the build up, and I'm sitting there like, it should be Sami, Cody, WrestleMania. The dream match. El Generico versus Cody Rhodes. Awesome. Sami losing is such a bummer. The tag titles as a consolation prize just puts a downer on such a great story. Oh, they're gonna give him the tag titles. Current build for Cody versus Roman is that Cody wants to friendly match and Heyman wants to bang Brandy. Yes. All right. I think we've talked enough about Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns here. I think it's on to our next thrilling topic here, and that's of your boy, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. We will be discussing him, his current route to WrestleMania, and all that jazz. I have pictures. I don't know if that's distracting at all. Oh, the playlist I was playing just fucking stopped working. That's cool. Need to go back. There we go. I don't know what that happened. Anyway. All right, Cody Rhodes. I enjoy pictures. You're welcome. Johnny, did you catch Mercedes Moné debut on Stardom? We will talk about that as well tonight. I don't want to jump ahead of ourselves here. We're talking Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Let me put this question out there for everyone watching. Do we think Cody Rhodes, neck tattoo extraordinaire, will be getting the strap? Will he be champ at WrestleMania? We've seen what they did to Sami Zayn, but that was more of the like fan reaction, whereas Cody Rhodes feels more like a planned progression that was set in motion pre-pec tear. Let's see what you guys are saying. I feel like Cody should have come into the U.S. title scene instead. Okay, I can see that. He'll probably get it though. Okay. Probably, and I can't be paid to care. Lol. Awesome. I feel like they want Roman to break 1,000 days before dropping the title. Okay. Gonna be a Debbie Downer. Cody turns heel and aligns with Heyman and wins that way. Okay. That's interesting. We wanted him to turn heel in AEW. Does he turn heel in WWE? Is that the question? Generally hope not. I'd rather he lose round 1 and then beat a face champ after turning. I'm a psycho heel beating a face. Sami would have been cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know, guys. The kids love him. The kids seem to love Cody Rhodes. We already saw in AEW his obsession with not turning heel, even though he's pretty much just Homelander from The Boys. And then all these fans out there started making videos like, oh, or saying online on your Reddits and Twitters, they were saying, oh, Cody's playing a cerebral heel. And I was buying into it. I loved it. I was like, oh, he is. That's crazy. He's going to, you know, he's going to be such a babyface. He's a heel. But we then learned Cody is not that smart. Shouts out anyway. But people in the chat seem to think he's turning heel. Evil delusional Cody in AEW would have been so good. Yes, I agree. I do think we will be seeing Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns. I just have this feeling. I feel like the wheels have been set in motion. Everyone was down. All the fans were down. And then I think that the Hell in a Cell match really put those plans in motion. People saw how dedicated he was in the back, and I think they started this plan, and I think they're afraid. I think they're also afraid, and they might, I don't know. It's so hard. I could see them rolling it back. Just because the post, like the way people freaked out with the Sami stuff, I could see them be like, all right, give him the title. Or even if Cody loses it really fast, I don't know. But the general consensus of the chat seems to be that he will not be winning the title. Why do you keep not playing? Sorry, my playlist keeps fucking up. Stop. Thank you. Anyway. What are you guys saying? Babyface Cody is still cool, but nothing tops ROH Cody making people kiss the Ring of Honor. I agree with that. That was probably my favorite Cody run. I loved the feud between him and Omega. Okay, let's talk about the Paul Heyman wanting to fuck Brandy, because Cody has done this before. If you guys aren't well versed in Cody lore, Ring of Honor, he did an angle with Kenny Omega where Brandy like kissed him, and that was the whole feud. So it feels very Cody to have the weird feud where like someone wants to hook up with his wife for some reason. It feels very Cody-verse. But I will say I've been enjoying Cody's run in WWE so far. I've always thought he was a good promo, minus the Cody ends racism promo. That was in just poor taste. But Cody Loki trying to get himself cucked. Yeah. Cody's also been very like, he's like really knowledgeable and he loves to do old angles. So I feel like with Cody it's a lot of like, oh, this was something from, you know, this era, from this was from an NWA match, this was from WCW match. He loves taking little bits and pieces. The entire Go-Go feud was just truly terrible. How did everything go so bad there? That was just Cody betting on himself and losing. Anyway. Will Cody get booed post the Sami stuff? Well, we saw on Monday Night Raw that is not the case. People still love Cody. I'm surprised. I mean, maybe someone out there knows more than I here and can explain to me. Is he just there to keep the Raw ratings up? Because I'm really surprised he's not on SmackDown. I don't know. I feel like he's such a big star. Or maybe they just don't want him and Roman to meet yet. I don't know. Very strange. Unless he's been on SmackDown, I don't know. Honestly, I don't think Cody's turning heel. I think the WWE just views him as the safe guy that can do radio shows and say exactly what they need him to say. Okay. Well, I did watch him on Logan Paul's podcast, and he put over Kenny Omega, and I thought that was pretty badass. They say Cody's Mania gear will be tribute to his indie run. Oh. A tribute to his indie run. I hope he brings back those fucking weird pants he used to have. Oh, what if he comes out as Big Boss again? That would be awesome. But his Bullet Club gear was pretty sick. He had like the leather jacket. I say that like everyone in Bullet Club doesn't have a leather jacket. Okay. So let's put everything in perspective here. Let's kind of cram the Cody lore into one place. Because I think Cody does that to himself. I think there's a great story here. Even just outside of both companies, like being, you know, disliked in one company and being the like prodigal son of the other. I think I will put my flag. I'll plant my flag here. I think it's the Cody era, guys. I think Cody beats Roman. He becomes the champ. Not for long, though. I think people will turn on Cody when he's champ. And then Cody always said retire at 40. We'll see. We'll see if he does that. I would love, like, if AEW continues to be a thing a couple years down the line, I would love to see, like, old man Cody run in AEW, similar to, like, Chris Jericho. But we'll see. I think Cody's definitely a company man now. Cody wins, Roman aligns with him, and they become two-man nepotism trip. Yes. Anyway, enough. That is our thoughts on Cody The American Codester. Make him say, Rhodes. Our next docket here. What the fuck are we playing what music is playing right now? Some SmackDown shit. Sorry, I need to change the fucking... I'm gonna get fucking tagged on something. Anyway. Oh, I lost my screen. Cool. Great. Let's get on to our next random mode. Ooh, you might be right. No, it says it's in loop mode. I just gotta make sure that Power Man 5000 doesn't start playing. Anyway, on to our next exciting major news. Mega 64 podcast live from WrestleMania. I would love that. But all right, before I get into the next news, I currently don't have tickets to WrestleMania, and I feel like I'm fucking up by not going because it's like in LA and I could easily go. But I'm going to buy nosebleeds, and I feel like I'll just be watching it on a screen. And I partially feel like, well, if I'm going to watch it that way anyway, why not just watch it, save money and watch it from home? And no one really wants to go with me. So anyway, Cody's going to come out with the fur coat. I would love that. Okay, let us get to the next thing on our docket here, and that is Mercedes Mone versus Kairi. New Japan Pro Wrestling Battle in the Valley pay-per-view happened Saturday, February 18th. Same time as Elimination Chamber. I did see some people on Twitter make jokes like, oh, they're in a bingo hall. It's not a fucking bingo hall. Shut the fuck up. I didn't watch the whole pay-per-view, but I did watch that match. So, for those out there who don't know, Mercedes Mone used to go by the name Sasha Banks. She was a big star in WWE. Through some disputes, she quit. I don't fully know the story there. If I recall, it was like her and Naomi. They weren't happy with how they were being booked that day or something in general, and then they walked. Can't play that. They threw their belts at someone. I hope it was Vince. They threw their belts, and then they left to never be seen again on WWE television. But we hadn't seen Sasha Banks in a minute, and then suddenly, well, we knew she signed with New Japan, but then during a pay-per-view, she showed up as Mercedes Mone, and the memes that came out were incredible. Because one, little awkward. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I love New Japan. Sometimes I feel like when people are used to like the WWE machine coming to New Japan, where it's just quiet and a little more reserved, they try to do their like, I'm a WWE person shtick, and it just like kind of comes off awkward. I feel like in New Japan you have to be more subtle. To an extent. Like, I mean, Kenny Omega came out as fucking Terminator. But I just feel like the Japanese crowd is a little different. She came out really WWE-esque, and it was a little awkward. But still cool, nonetheless. I'm talking about their first interaction, not this match. We will get to who was watching her match in a minute. I have that written down as well. So their first match, her first match in New Japan was in California. Sold out in like 2 seconds. Is this the first New Japan show with a women's match? I don't understand how it works. Because I know I always assumed Stardom was like part of New Japan, or is it part of DDT? Always confused by the women's stuff in New Japan, because they usually don't really have women's matches. I think that's kind of lame. Stardom is its own thing. Where is Kairi signed to? Is she signed to Stardom? Wait for the answer in the chat. No, Stardom got implemented onto Wrestle Kingdom show about 2 or 3 years ago. They're owned by the same parent company. I think Wrestle Kingdom was their first women's match. That's cool. So, anyway, this was their second women's match. So let's talk about our thoughts on the match. This match was pretty fucking good. I've never been a big Sasha Banks fan. I'm a big Kairi fan, though. Kairi Sane in fucking NXT was my shit. I love the pirate gimmick. I love her coming out with the fucking wheel. I love that shit. Anyway. So I was excited. I'm trying to think of highlights of the match. There was a point where Kairi DDT'd Mercedes Mone so fucking hard, I thought Homegirl was going to be concussed. It was like the craziest DDT. They did a bunch of stuff to the outside. There were a couple, slight botches, but I don't really hold it against them. I think everything looked good. The biggest botch I kind of noticed was Kairi was going to do the stomp off the top when Mercedes was like on the ropes, and like she kind of let go a little early. Understandable, that would fucking kill you if you mess that up. Mercedes is just 31, by the way, a few years younger than Kairi. That's sick. How old is Kairi? Kairi's older than 31? Either way, that's crazy. 34, okay. She looks great for 34. I didn't know I was Mercedes Moné's age, same age. She looks way younger than me. Take a little sip of coffee. Anyway, the match was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. If that's the caliber they're gonna go, that's fucking awesome. I don't fully understand the New Japan's women's division or who's a part of it, but I would love to talk like the future of her, like what other matches she could have in New Japan. Like my thoughts, I kind of wrote down like people I would love to see her wrestle, and you guys in the chat can kind of correct me if they're if she could even wrestle them. But you know me, you guys know me, my first idea was her versus Maki Ito. How does that happen? I don't think it can happen. I don't think they're in the same company. But excuse me. I do know that New Japan is pretty okay with people working indies, I think. So I do think that these two, I don't know how long Mercedes' deal is. Okay. Oh, okay. So let me put this in perspective here a little bit more. She did win the match. Mercedes Moné won the match, and she is now the women's champ of New Japan, I guess. I don't know. I don't understand what the belt is for, or if Kairi was a Stardom champ. I really don't know. I should have done more research into that. You never know. New Japan and Pro Wrestling Noah have been doing crossover shows. Okay. IWGP Women's Champ. Okay, cool. Seeing Okada and Mercedes posing with their respective belts is wild. I agree with that. My only feeling is that, like, I feel like they should have saved this a little bit. Like, poor Kairi. Like, she like, the first women's champ and the first to lose the women's championship. Maybe, I mean, I understand you're going to put the belt on Sasha Banks. I get that, but, like, maybe we could have waited a little bit longer. I don't know. Just feel bad. Like I said before, take everything I say with a grain of salt. I don't fully know everything about the wrestling world, but still kind of wild. It felt like we kind of buried Kairi there. But not really. Kairi put on a fucking awesome match, and we all love her. I think Kairi's still Stardom champion. Okay, great. The Wrestle Kingdom match was a 5-minute squash. It felt like they introduced the belt just for Mercedes. Okay, I agree with that. I do agree with that. But anyway, let's keep talking about the future of who else she can wrestle. For me, the dream match. I don't know what company she's with, but the dream match for me is Miyu Yamashita versus Mercedes Mone. That would be a fucking banger. I feel like they would shoot. Dude. Also, like, just for fun envisionment here, I would love to see her versus Riho. I don't know how that works. Or even Yuka Sakazaki. That would be cool. All the Joshis. I want her to go through every fucking Joshi. I don't care what fucking company they're in. I'm here for her. I'm here for this New Japan run. Miyu is in the States for a while. Yeah, I don't know. I'm down to see that. That would be awesome. I don't know who else she could fucking wrestle. Unless they do like intergender stuff. But Miyu's with Tokyo Joshi Pro. Probably going to be a bit before they can do anything. Yeah. I know there's been concepts. Forbidden Door 2 co-main event. Her versus Jamie Hayter. That's an idea. That's a good idea. I do think that's something they have been kind of working towards. Once I started seeing Mercedes show up, I was like, okay. Forbidden Door 2, her versus Jamie Hayter, that could be fun. Her versus Thunder Rosa. I don't think... Alright, side note here. I don't think Thunder Rosa is coming back. I don't know how you guys feel. I follow her on Instagram, and it just seems bleak. Like, I think she's... I don't know. Something seems off there. Anyway, back to this, what we're talking about. All right, what do you guys think? Future opponents for Mercedes Mone? You guys have any ideas? I mean, even if she did wrestle Thunder Rosa, I would be down. I feel like Tony would book Mercedes Mone versus Saraya. Oh, blow my fucking brains out. Oh, God. Why? Didn't they wrestle in WWE a bunch? Versus Minoru Suzuki? Dude. I don't think New Japan's ready to make that the amount of money that would make. I think they're too scared to make money. Because that is a great idea. Oh, God. I need to wash the taste out of my mouth of Saraya versus Mercedes Mone. Just send them to DDT. Good idea. Unfortunately, there's a history there with Tasha dropkicking Paige into retirement after just getting cleared. Yes, I remember that. There's so much history there, but why? Save it, dude. No one wants to see it. She fucked around and showed up in Choco Pro. Dude. I agree with that. You guys have the banger concepts here. Sorry, my nose is stuffed. Mercedes goes to GCW. Okay. I would love that as well. They were both go the main event like a Rampage just because they're former WWE disgruntled employees. Whoever wins is the most disgruntled WWE employee. All right, let's take a little breather here in between. We're nearing towards the end. Not really. We have a couple more things to talk about here, but I just want to pause and I just want to gauge what y'all's response has been to the stream so far. Like, should I do this more? I would love to do this more, but I know like most y'all want to watch me play video games or just talk to you guys. This is super niche. I've noticed a slight decline in viewership right now, but I also don't care. I would love to just sign on and talk about wrestling each week, please do. I love wrestling. It's been great. Okay. Sorry, I just need my ego inflated a little bit. Maybe after major pay-per-views. Okay. Yeah, I would love to like talk about Johnny pay-per-view. And you know me, I could this was kind of spur of the moment. I could always have like Derrick or Garrett come on and talk to me about wrestling. Love when y'all talk about Omega Strange. Thank you. Hell yeah, Johnny. Love hearing you talk about your passions. Thank you. Johnny Wrestling. Yeah, that's me, dude. And they can even chant. They can be like, Johnny Wrestling. Yeah. Dude, Johnny Gargano. What's up with him? Sorry, a little side tangent. He was so fucking good at NXT. And I feel like I don't see much from him. He was in Elimination Chamber, but I didn't really care. Anyway. Check my phone here. Quick little mini break. All right. Let's get back to it. What's this music from? It is SmackDown. WWF SmackDown 2. Know Your Role. SmackDown 2 Know Your Role. It's a menu music. Okay. Now we got to get into the real New Japan news here. And the stuff you all been waiting for to hear about. Let me get my pictures back up. CM Punk was spotted at the New Japan pay-per-view. There he is, slumming it, straight fucking slumming it in the rafters. I don't know why. Play the static noise. Look at my seats. They're really high. I don't know. He was spotted. I think the tweet that picture was from said, "Oh wow, CM Punk is in the same section as me." Joker update, exactly. So what does this mean? We're wrestling fans. We have to psychoanalyze every fucking little morsel. The dirt sheets we need to feed the fucking dirt sheet machine. Why the fuck is CM Punk at a New Japan Pro Wrestling show? Does he enjoy wrestling? Doubt it. Is he joining New Japan? Probably not. What do you guys think? We're just little gossips. It's the best part. Exactly. Eric gets it. So, I pulled this up because I thought it was genuinely funny. People lost their fucking minds as CM Punk was at the show. I was surprised he was able to watch the show. I'm sure so many fucking bearded dudes were like, "Yo, Punk, can I get a photo?" Anyway. I do have this quote from Kenta, who is a New Japan wrestler that does the same finishing move as CM Punk. And he said on Twitter, after learning that CM Punk was at the show, he said, "I heard that my biggest fan in the world came to Arena last night. I hope he enjoyed real go-to sleep." So, what do we think? Do we think Kenta's trying to start shit because he's joining New Japan? Or do we think Kenta's just starting shit? I do think, currently as I'm recording, CM Punk's still under contract with AEW. Johnny Kenta, all caps, invented that move, and the knee Ryan uses. Okay. Kenya versus Punk confirmed. Hell yeah. Kenta just legit hates Punk, I think. So I love that we're learning how many wrestlers hate CM Punk. We got Seth Rollins. We got Kenta. We now have the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. Triple H. This man is hated by the wrestling world. And it fills my heart with such joy knowing that I was in the room where he fucked up. I was in the arena watching as he fucked up the buckshot lariat. Not once! 2 times. I will say, I will have to be real. I like CM Punk. I like him. As a wrestler, I don't know. As a person, who knows? Seth Rollins calling Punk a cancer was wild. I agree with that. That was fucking crazy. I'm surprised. I feel like the WWE wrestlers are like the raptors from Jurassic Park, like learning that the gate is open, because I've noticed a lot of them talking more shit. Once Triple H kind of took over creative. I know Vince is back, but I think a lot of people are afraid of this merger or buyout that's happening, and I think everyone's like, fuck it. The wrestling world is crazy right now. All right, let's wrap up this news here and say, what do you guys think? Is CM Punk coming back to AEW, or is he testing the waters and seeing like, ooh, maybe New Japan is in my future? Rollins was upset that Mox dared take food of his kid's table by going to AEW, so I don't know. Okay. He's going to be somewhere, that's for sure. I feel that. It'd be such a mistake to not do Punk versus the Elite. I agree with that, but you know, we got egos involved. Chairs have been thrown into people's eyeballs. I don't know if people can get over that. People were put in chokeholds and bit. It's kind of hard to come back from that. Rollins is a hardline company guy. Whatever with Punk, bring back Larry the Dog. Yeah, let him run around the fucking arena again. That was lit. He didn't have a boot. Okay. Larry the Dog versus Doggy Ziggler. I'm down with that. All right. Let's move on to our next bit of news. Little bit of wrestling. Our little morsel of dirt sheet bullshit, as I'm calling it. My chair keeps making fart sounds, so if you hear that, that's not me. Fuck you for thinking that. This is completely headcanon bullshit, but we're going to talk about it. Why not? The Elite. The Elite. Might possibly be WWE bound. What evidence do we have of this? 0.0. Nothing. Nada. All we have to go off of is Young Bucks Twitter bios. And like Kenny Omega being a little bored during his Swerve Strickland interview. And that's it. That's all we have. But it hasn't stopped a lot of people reporting on this concept. I think Booker T talked about it on his podcast. And I will entertain the idea. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the Elite of all Elite wrestling are jumping ship? The only reason I can see them wanting to leave is if Tony Khan is thinking about bringing CM Punk back. I can see them wanting to say like, fuck you for even thinking about that. But maybe on their way out, they do a feud. Who knows? God, I hope not. And I'm a WWE fan. Yes. I don't see... Hey, I'll be real with you guys. I don't give a fuck. I'm a Young Bucks apologist. I love the Young Bucks. I'll die on this hill. When I first got into wrestling, or into Japanese wrestling, and like getting into being the Elite, like in the early days of being the Elite, and like seeing them grow and make stupid videos, I love that shit. So I'm ride or die with the Young Bucks. even if they are weirdos. But I love them, and I love Mr. Kenneth Omega. He's probably my favorite wrestler of all time. So there's that. Do I want them in WWE? I mean, I don't want to watch the product, but if they're on it, I'm going to watch. Or I'll probably watch their segments. But like I said, there's literally no evidence of this, except that I think Kenny Omega's contract is about to run out, or about to end. But he for sure will probably be given an extension for the time he took off for injury. But like I said before, let's entertain this thought here. Who are some matches that Kenny Omega? I'm just gonna keep it to Kenny Omega because the Young Bucks. I don't really, the tag division in WWE. I don't really care. Like, well, they're gonna fight the Usos. But yeah, okay. Omega versus Rollins. That's a banger. That's the heater right there. Would love to see that. I have a list here. AJ Styles. I think getting AJ would be the deciding factor of if Kenny Omega would go to WWE. Because I just think that's cool. That's some fucking lore. Like, yo, you were leader of Bullet Club, and then I became leader, and now we're both here. Gunther, Omega versus Gunther. There is so much potential here. Even the obvious Roman Reigns, that would be fantastic. I'm not seeing a lot of this in the chat here, but I think it would be a great idea. Him versus Cody again. Fuck it, do it. Round 2. I think that would break everyone's brains. Seeing those two wrestle on WWE TV, I think that's the match. Omega versus Bobby Roode on main event. Yeah. Omega versus Nakamura to get that match we were robbed of in New Japan. Hell yeah. Yeah, Finn Balor's a big one. I currently wish if Kenny did show up in WWE, it kind of hurts my soul that Finn Balor isn't like his babyface gimmick anymore. Like that Finn Balor just versus Kenny Omega. I know people like this Judgment. I think it's I don't know the name of the crew, but I think people like that stable. Homie came out with a fucking jar on his head at the Elimination Chamber, and I was like, what did they do to my man? My man used to be a prince. My man used to be a prince, and now he's a fool. Kenny versus Dominic Mysterio. Okay. You guys are getting me excited. Even the fucking Kenny versus Otis, I would watch that. On Swerve Strickland's podcast, Kenny Omega kind of talked about how he's getting older and how he has been in America trying to work a kind of safer style just because I think those Okada matches fucking took part of his soul away from him. Understandable. That fucking drop kick from the top rope in Omega Okada 1 is the most gnarly shit I've ever seen. So I do think, like, my man's nearing 40. Like, let him have a WWE run. Let him work a lighter style. I mean, I guess the WWE would have him do house shows, which might not be great, but have him wrestle a safer style, but still with that Kenny Omega flair would be great. Kenny Omega versus LA Knight, hell yeah. You know, us chatting about this has kind of turned my feelings. I assumed everyone would be really negative about this, but it kind of makes sense if you really think about it. Kenny is he's played every field, and I feel like he's never been in that WWE zone. And I could sense in him that he knows, like, I'm the best, and I know I'm not actually the best unless I'm main eventing WrestleMania. And I always feel like him and Cody have like the secret kind of rivalry where they're like, no, I'm the best, no, I'm the best, no, I'm the best. So I could see him being like, "Oh, Cody, what happens if I pop in your fucking zone here?" The only downsides I see, Kenny Omega is a great wrestler. I love his promos. They're goofy. I can understand if someone says they're silly. But I love them because they just feel real. Like sometimes when you're talking, you say weird, like shit sounds weird sometimes. So like I don't know like what his promo would be like. You know, we might get a 69 me Don. We might get a 69 me Don in a WWE. But yeah, would they have a Paul Heyman talk for him? Similar to the way they had Don kind of talk for him. But even like you could even sense in like BTE from that era, Kenny Omega seemed kind of upset that Don Callis was talking for him. He'd always make jokes. He'd be like, "I can't talk. Where's Don? Where's Don?" Like you could feel the like Tony Khan meddling and him not being into it. But yeah, but anyway, bring Don Callis. Fuck it. Kenny Omega versus Kevin Owens? I'd pay for that. I'd pay a big old dollar Rooney for that one. Kenny likes hockey. He's gonna be son of the Goon. Okay. Damn, Cody gets overshadowed by Punk and AW, then goes to WWE. Get overshadowed by Omega. I am here for that. Anyway, let us go on to our next, and I guess our final bit of news here. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Kenny Omega versus Brock Lesnar. Bruh. It's like creating a custom character and putting it in a WWE game. Like it's an amazing concept. Anyway, our next bit of news here. I'm not ready to admit it, y'all. Let me just say, I'm AEW cucked. I'm ride or die AEW. I've been there since the fucking episode 1. That doesn't mean I'm not going to criticize AEW and their weird decisions. And that does not mean I will. Well, I was sold a wrestling company by my favorite wrestlers. And slowly I've gotten the Tony Khan show. Not that that's bad. But I'm going to move on. Rampage this week had the lowest ratings in the show's history. According to the Wrestling Observer, it averaged 287,000 viewers. That's down 23.5% from the previous week. And it is the lowest audience total in the history of the show. A lot of people believe this is due to the time change. And Rampage has definitely taken hits before during like big sporting events, but this seems like no one watched. Not even the hardcores. And the funny thing to me is that I felt like this Rampage was good. The Dynamite that week was but I felt like the Rampage was way better. It was at 4 p.m. So I do think people are jumping to conclusions here. We definitely have to see if next week it goes back to normal. Then everyone will eat their words, which is great. But it definitely comes at a bad point in time because people are already kind of feeling this disconnect from AEW. It's a total afterthought, unfortunately, partially because of the time change. Yep. Dustin versus Swerve was a banger. I agree. As someone who went to a recent AEW show, it was very brutal to sit through Dark, Elevation, Dynamite, and Rampage. When I listened to the recent Hard Lore episode that Malachi Black was on, he talked fondly of them doing these house shows and how that will kind of help these wrestlers. Because if you really put it in perspective, they're wrestling 1 day a week. And some of these dudes have never been on TV besides that 1 day a week. And then once you have these house shows, everyone's going to get like better and see what works and what doesn't work. And I think that'll help the company a lot. People were kind of shitting on them, like, oh, these dudes are going to get injured. No, I think they'll learn what works. I think that's what AEW needs right now is a developmental kind of like see what works, what doesn't work. Because they're just like, oh, it's on TV. Maybe we could try it out in dark and see if it gets over. But I think everything's just being thrown at the fucking the viewer. But someone in the chat asked my thoughts on the, I can't say that guy's last name, Ariel Helwani, that stuff. I don't fully understand it. I think that guy Ariel was said he was impartial, but then showed up on SmackDown, and then Tony Khan called him out, told him he was a fucker. I don't remember, but then Ariel hit him with the fucking heater and called him a snowman, alluding to Tony Khan's alleged cocaine use. That's just funny. I don't care. I don't think it affects either of them. I mean, it doesn't look good for either of them, but it doesn't bother me. And I don't know. It's confusing me why people keep pointing to it, because I kind of laughed and moved on. But I understand. It's like the owner of this company is being called a coke addict on Twitter. Anyway. So, yeah. We love gossip. This is the show. Anyway, back to the gossip. Oh, wait. Okay, we're good. It's playing some SmackDown song. Rampage, lowest viewers in history, in the history of Rampage. The highest viewers, I think, to this day is still when CM Punk came back. But I kind of wanted to snowball this into a different conversation here. Like, what do we think the future for AEW is, and what do we think can kind of turn the tides? Or do we think AEW is just going to post Brawl Out just spiral into obscurity? Which I hope it doesn't. A lot of people have come out and said, like, hey, like, don't wish for this company to go down, because there's not a lot of jobs in wrestling that pay well. So I guess watch the show. I don't know. But what do you guys think? I don't think it has anything to do with the quality of the episode itself. I agree. I mean more of just Dynamite or AEW in general. Like, where do we go from here? There's been a general kind of, the fans have kind of started turning, but the WWE fans turned on them years ago, and now they're all back. I think it's just one hot angle. I think that's what AEW needs. I think we need the new hotness. AEW stays here, it gets hot and grows, it hangs through. I think a lot of fans wouldn't have survived 1998. Yes, I agree with that. Consistent booking by more than one guy, have agents sit down with the talent and plan out their feuds. Yep. I agree with all that. I do think, this is my theory here, I think Tony is very close to hitting rock bottom. Just in a fan view. I think everyone's going to turn on him, or is turning on him currently, and I think he's going to have to face himself, look himself in the mirror, and be like, damn, I need help. And then once he says that to himself, then it's fucking off to the races. Like everyone said, get someone in there besides him. He can still implement his ideas, but we need like someone who's like super versed in what they're doing. From what I heard on the Malachi Black episode of Hard Lore, everything goes through Tony Khan and QT Marshall, which really, I kind of was like, oh god. QT Marshall trains everyone, and he apparently is like kind of the guy who, from my perspective, it sounds like he's started doing what Cody was doing. Not that Cody had any the ability to book, but I think things got kind of ran through him before they got to Tony. They need to get around the start. Oh, sorry. They need to get around and start making their top stars to really build the show around for a few months. You have a bunch of good talent. Use it to rotate when you have. Yep. Miro and Lance Archer. I agree. I agree with that. I think he's doing much. He needs to hear more staff members out. Yep. Storyboard. It sounded like at the beginning it was like that. Like he really had this roadmap, and then post CM Punk shit, he kind of got like thrown for a loop, and he's kind of realized like, oh hey, I could kind of wing it. I feel like Tony Khan feels like he could wing it, and it's not been working out. I don't want to be that guy, but Punk mentioned they have 3 EVPs, but you never hear them mentioned in booking anything but themselves. So Kenny and Cody have both come out recently and said they didn't have much to do with their booking. They give Tony ideas, I think, and then he kind of filters it. I will say I love watching fans fantasy book because it makes the TV seem so much better. I agree with that. Anyway, I don't think people are acting like this is the end for AEW. I think I feel like we've seen this before. I think a lot of people are having like PTSD from like WCW era stuff, but with the internet and Tony Khan, I think, owns the AEW name. Even if it did, let's say it did get canceled, it would show up someplace else. The concept deep pockets. I don't think AEW is going anywhere unless Tony Khan is over it. But we should talk about this week on Dynamite. He will be showing up and with a quote major announcement. A lot of fans speculate it's this trademark that was just filed for AEW Collision. Collision was spelt wrong. Collison. So who knows if that is the big announcement or not. Brawl out and awkward ROH overabundance created an odd era, but I feel things are going to start stabilizing soon. AEW will be right. Lots of money, enough good stuff to rebound. Not on LOT TNA situation. Yes, I agree with that. LOL TNA situation. Just wonder if it's the game. Doesn't feel big enough. Okay. Yeah, my thought process on his big announcement is either like a streaming service, AEW streaming service, or another show. God, the fucking Raw soundtrack he's playing. But it would be baffling if he announced a third show post Rampage having the worst ratings in history. But I mean, streaming is my hope. I want to watch this shit simulcast, no fucking picture-in-picture. I will pay you money, Tony Khan. Listen to me. I know you're listening to this. But either way, that was my wrestling news segments. And I want to end this episode with having you guys any questions or comments you have, or any things I didn't discuss that you want me to talk about. I will talk about right now. Streaming would absolutely rule. I agree. Okay. Do you see Koda's ass on Twitter? Yes. For those who don't know, Kota Ibushi made some tweet where he's like talking about starting his wrestling school. but the video he posted was like his pants were off and he was like doing a weird jig. Very strange. How do you watch Dynamite now? I watch it fucking live on TBS, because my my parents still have cable. I borrow their cable password, and I use the TBS app and TNT app, and it is the most hellish experience to watch something I've ever had to deal with. It rarely works, and I have to watch commercials, and it sucks. But I do watch Power Slap after Dynamite. Sometimes that's the only upside. I use Fight TV and a VPN. It's good. I think Garrett said he does the same thing, and it's like he said it was way better. I should start doing that. I just feel bad. Like I want them to have the ratings, but who am I? One viewer. I use Sling TV. Okay, I have Sling TV. I think. What's your favorite terrible wrestler? What was the fucking fucked up Goldberg? That guy always makes me laugh. Whenever I see photos of that guy, the little tiny Goldberg. Gilbert. Every time I see a photo of him, it makes me laugh. That shit's so funny. Gilbert is funny as fuck. I prefer when the Battle Bots was on after Dynamite. Yeah, that was way better. I mean, Power Slap is okay. I'm tired of the fucking drama. Like, oh, this dude got drunk. Just slap each other. I don't care. Damn, you guys are making me want to watch Gilbert matches. I just recently learned he existed. Watch one now. I think it might get dinged on Twitch or something. Stream of Gilbert. Played any wrestling games? If so, got a favorite. I'm not really a big wrestling game fan. Once Wait Forever comes out, I'll play that probably. You'll be fine. This is going on YouTube. Yeah, get the channel taken down via Gilbert. He'd owe me money at that point. Here comes the pain, greater than no mercy. You gotta be introduced to some Misawa versus Kenta Kobayashi. Sure. I always hear shit about this one era of All Japan, and I want to watch that stuff. I try to go back as much as possible, but it's kind of hard finding these matches. I did like that the Peacock has these collections of like great matches. Sometimes when Derrick and I hang out, he's been going through all the old episodes of Raw from the 90s, from the first episode till whenever, and that's been fun. Getting to see like Tatanka and Lex Luger and fucking Undertaker, and you guys know all those guys. Those are rough. Bastion Booger. Oh, every time Bastion Booger's on the screen, I want to fucking die. It's fun, and like the wrestling is whatever. The show's like an hour long, and it's just a bunch of like promo and like commercials, and that shit's fun to watch. But Derrick's been going like hard mode and also watching the Saturday show Superstars. That I can't stand Superstars. It's like fucking Mean Gene talking for like an hour about the current feuds, and then I watch one match and it's over. But yeah, so many fucking Ico Pro ads. Go watch Battle of the Valley, the last minute of the show, and okay. Yeah, a lot of Crush, a lot of IRS. We're at the era where it's a different doink. So afraid that all these songs are gonna get me fucking demonetized here. Okay, any other questions or wrestling shit I should talk about before we end this episode of Wrestle Club? I don't even know if I could call it that. I might get in trouble. Have you seen the early Raw ep where they have Elvis on commentary? Yes, I did. I did see that episode. I was very confused. Thoughts on Last of Us episode 6? I haven't watched it yet. We are talking wrestling though. This is Wrestle Club. Johnny Premium Events. That's good. Johnny pay-per-view was pretty good before too. I remember as a kid, I always thought Goldberg picked his name because he was into gold. Now I'm older and realize he's just Jewish. That's an amazing story. Any plans to watch Halloween Havoc 1995? Why that one in particular? I did watch a Halloween Havoc where it was like Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio, and that match was fucking awesome. I looked up Dave Meltzer's top rated matches of 80s and 90s WCW, and I just went through each match. Some of them are like, the crowd's hot, but watching it now, you're like, oh, what is this? That's 97. Rey Mysterio looking straight like the fucking Phantom in that match. He's got like purple gear. Yeah. Fucking Johnny Mundo. He has all the good names. Are we getting another Mega Mania? I don't know. I would be down. The Monster Truck Sumo match costed millions. Excuse me? I'm going to need an explanation on that one. And I will be watching that when I get home. Did they upload all Nitros? I'm not sure. I think, I know early WCW is on there. I think. Hogan versus Big Show in a Monster Truck Sumo match at Halloween Havoc. Okay. I'm going to watch that. Halloween Havoc 1998 is great. Okay. Alright, someone's saying all the Nitros are on there. I would... Yo, I know Derrick's doing his thing. I'd sit there and watch every Nitro. That would be so fucking funny. I need to see Dustin Rhodes come out as like a fucking ghost and talk about how much he hates this fucking gimmick. Do it, compare it, yeah. If I continue to do this show, I would love to do that. Like, all right, this week on Nitro, I saw this. Any wrestling related content you're really digging, like podcasts or review shows, etc. I don't really know. I like, you know, I'll listen to the Observer occasionally. I can't speak right now. I want to give, sometimes I'll listen to Jim Cornette. I like what he has to say, even if I don't agree with him. That's about it, really. I like listening to both sides of the wrestling coin. So I got the Observer and I got Cornette, and so I can make my own decisions based on those two. But I want to listen to more. The only podcast or show I've heard that I genuinely did not like was that who's that fucker who's like a mid-carder, and for some reason he thinks he knows everything about wrestling, and he has Conan on his show. Not the talk show Conan. Disco Inferno. That is the worst shit. Every time I hear that podcast, I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, he's always just shitting on everything. I'm like, Okay? Like, at least Jim Cornette is, like, been around forever, and I'm kind of like, all right, I don't agree with you, but, like, you know what you're talking about. Every time I hear Disco Inferno, I'm like, bro. I mean, I also don't know what I'm talking about, so. That's the bottom of the barrel. It was nice of you to call him a mid-carder. Okay. All right, a jobber. Sorry. Cody took his entire life in a single tweet. That's awesome. That's so funny. Yeah, that shit sucks. Every time I hear his voice, I get mad. I'm like, bro, who the fuck are you? But other wrestling podcasts, I don't really. I used to listen to Talk is Jericho. Pre AEW. Now I don't really want to listen to that. Also recommend OSW review. I've heard of them. All right, maybe I'll give OSW a shot. I used to listen to my favorite show, The Go Home Show, but I don't know what's up with that. I don't know why there's no new episodes. Fucking sucks. I want to see Johnny watch late era WCW with Russo. Hell yeah. Fucking marks. Exactly. All right, what are we at? We're at hour 20. I think I'm going to end this episode here. For the people of the Twitch chat, I will stay for another like 30 minutes to chat with you guys. But what's on YouTube will be ending here. Oh, wait. We got a run-in. He's doing my favorite bit. All right, I guess we're extending the episode here. You want to come in?
I'm on Instagram. What's up?
He's on Instagram.
At Derrick Costa only. Follow me.
He said at Derrick Costa only follow him. That's funny. I said you were might show up, and they were like, Derrick's gonna do a run-in. I think that mic's on. Try to figure out.
Oh, what's up, everybody? It's raining outside. San Diego. I'm not even on camera here.
Keep talking.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Is it not plugged in? I think it's plugged in. When you talk, I saw like a light.
Ooh. Hello, everybody. Oh, it's so wet outside. Where am I? I just navigated like an ocean falling down from the sky. It's like that Noah guy from that book. That book. Johnny, you don't know what I'm talking about because you're not cool enough to know what I'm talking about.
He was in the Old Testament.
You're not cool enough. You don't go around like I do talking about the good book, your favorite book, everywhere you go.
Yeah.
The King James version of novelization of The Matrix. That's the book I'm talking about.
I like the sweater you're wearing.
Everybody keeps complimenting me on this sweater. Thank you, by the way. Massimo line from Target, circa 2013. This thing is so old.
Is it really?
You've seen me wearing this sweater in hundreds of Mega 64 videos, going back to when I was like 23 years old. Now I'm a man of 37.
I missed the...
As the Washington Post article so eloquently pointed out several times.
I missed the bear sweater.
That was a t-shirt. My Roaring Bear t. I also have like a roaring tiger sweater.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm sorry. It's a wolf.
That's the one I'm thinking. Oh, the Bobby Brown. The Bobby Brown.
Brown. Look at me, man. I'm schlubby here. I haven't worked out in like 4 weeks. I feel like Hot garbage ready to be turned into a pot of gold. That's what I am. I'm pre-gold hot garbage right now. Soon to be gold. What?
No, I was enjoying what you're saying.
Oh yeah, no. In about 4 weeks, I'm gonna be back in tip-top condition, and well, we'll get into it on the main show. But there's some legal disputes about the results of Mega 64 Board Game Olympics.
Oh yeah.
I'm challenging the results. We're going to have to do some legal action. And frankly, I'm going to get into shape for what will inevitably be a physical altercation between me and Garrett. Yes,
hell yeah.
I'm preparing. I know he's been training, going to some wrestling school or whatever the fuck that is, fake ass fighting. But you know what? I'm going to do real ass fighting. I'm going to do some Muay Thai. I'm going to do some Jiu-Jitsu. I'm going to do some
Muay Thai. That's so funny.
Call it Muay Thai. With some Muay Thai, bro. Bap!
Yeah.
The Muay Thai.
You're about to break edge, bitch. So,
actually, all right, whatever. What did I walk into here?
It was funny because I was about to end the show, but we were talking about how you've been watching every Raw. And
you've been talking about me.
Yeah, the chat was saying I should watch every Nitro to kind of counterbalance.
I'd actually thought about getting into Nitro. But so we watched this documentary the other night about the NWO.
Oh yeah, on A&E.
On A&E, yeah, and it was very extensive. I feel like they covered the whole NWO story and did it dirty.
Yeah.
kind of told you like the NWO is one of the most influential wrestling storylines in the history of wrestling, and it never had a good payoff.
Yeah.
And it fizzled out, and it's the reason WCW went out of business. And it really did not make you want to, like, it kind of made me want to go back and revisit it. But then when they tell you that the ending sucks,
yeah,
and it's like universally hated and disappointing, it just makes you feel like, well, I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching Raw is War, and it sucks, but I know it turns into the Attitude Era. I know it becomes the greatest wrestling of all time. So, like, I'm eager to see the evolution. I don't want to see it be awesome and devolve into shit.
It was funny. I said, like, oh, he's watching that. And then someone in the chat just said, Bastion Booger. And that's all they said. And I was like, whenever that fucker's on TV, I hate it. It makes me so mad.
Booger. You know why I love Bastion Booger?
Why?
Because he debuted as this Friar Tuck type character, and he was like literally like a violent Friar Tuck, and the Catholic Church got offended,
dude,
and they threatened to sue Vince McMahon. I actually looked up Bastion Booger, and Vince McMahon's like, I'm not doing this gimmick. The Catholic Church is coming after you. And Bastion Booger, the wrestler, was like pretty portly, pretty out of shape, and Vince kind of like hated that he didn't have a good body, so he's like, well, we can't do the Catholic thing. I'm gonna make you the most disgusting wrestler of all time. So they just made him this fat, smelly. The worst part is the costume, dude. He has like it's like a white. It's the most unflattering costume. It looks like some like
he looks like the Fifth Element chick. Like,
yeah,
he has, like, the fucking
dude. He looks like Leela from Fifth Element,
yeah,
except like 5 Leelas. You know, he's huge. He's very portly. Bastion Booger is very even seldomly featured on television.
Yeah.
And whenever he comes on, it's kind of like it's like a comedy match, you know, because he's so disgusting. Dude, you got guys like Atom Bomb.
Yeah.
You got Razor Ramon, top dude of the era. But I'm just enjoying, you know, people who are completely forgotten by today's standards, like the Quebecers.
Yeah.
Awesome tag team, the Quebecers. Their manager, Johnny Polo, I didn't know, went on to become Raven.
Oh, yeah.
I've always heard of Raven. I actually think I like him better as Johnny Polo. You know Raven?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this before. I vaguely know who he is.
He has like a Kurt Cobain, Eddie Vedder style grunge-inspired wrestling gimmick.
Yeah.
Perfect for like the 90s. But in the early 90s, he was Johnny Polo, and he was like a rich guy, a snobby rich kid, which I just think was, you know, easier to hate gimmick. You know, Raven is more cerebral. Like, do I like Raven? Do I not like Raven? What's this guy about? Johnny Polo, you know exactly what you get. Like, fuck this sniveling rich kid. Fuck this guy. I want him to lose.
Yeah. Similar to like an early Triple H, I assume.
Dude,
like a Hunter
so much.
Hensley.
So many gimmicks are this guy's rich, hate him. this guy has money.
Yeah, Jim Cornette.
Yeah, this guy has money.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Fucking-
I have money and I'm better than you. Who wants to fight? That's so many gimmicks,
dude.
in 1993.
Yeah. I did want to ask you. I did a whole show on I had topics here.
Oh,
Do you
man.
want me to run you through them real quick? Or
Let's run through
Okay.
the lightning round.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm fresh off my training. I'm juiced out. I'm yoked out.
Sorry.
I'm roided out. I'm ready to answer.
Oh God. So first thing I talked about Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns. Did you like that match?
No, I did not like that match. And I will tell you why. I just come into WWE with extreme levels of skepticism.
Okay.
I come in expecting to be horribly disappointed. I just don't trust these guys. I just do not trust them to. They just never fucking let you come. Dude. They never let you bust a nut. They fucking tease you so hard and they send you home with
Sometimes
grapefruit sized frozen testes, man.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but that is just. I was so blown away by the reaction Sami got in his hometown. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking it'd be so fucked up if they just make him job in his hometown.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
I mean,
it's not a job.
Yeah, they gave him those kickouts.
But
that was the big.
The whole match, they're talking about, well, we know what happened here in 1997, referencing the Montreal Screwjob.
I forgot about that.
You did a second Montreal Screwjob. Was that actually really? Let me ask you. Was that actually their intention? Let's call attention to the most hated event in wrestling history, the biggest fuck you to the fans that ever happened in this city. Because we're going to do another fuck you to the fans tonight. Was that really their plan? I just don't get it. I feel like wrestling is fun when they let you have that moment where it's in real life, Sami Zayn would not win. But this is fucking wrestling. And wouldn't it just be so sweet if for one night he became the champion? He could fucking lose the belt the next night. Who gives a shit? He could fucking win the belt on a technicality, and then the next day the decision is reversed, and it doesn't even affect Roman Reigns' championship run.
Give him that moment.
Just let him have it for the night. By the way, so many signs said if Roman wins, we riot.
Yeah.
If Sami loses, we riot. I didn't even see one cup thrown. Not even one empty paper soda cup.
Canadians are too nice to riot.
What was that? I would have had a beer in hand, and this would have been my riot beer. And it's I'm not sipping from this. I'll sip from this beer, but when Roman Reigns wins, I'm going to throw this beer into the fucking ring.
It was sad because you saw people just leaving. It wasn't even they're fuck it. In the background, you see people leaving.
When Sami did that dive through the turnbuckle,
what the fuck was he doing?
I think that was actually the end of the match in everybody's heart, and so because they were just he's not winning this.
Yeah.
He's not. You can't do that spot and come out the winner.
No.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah, so after the match, Kevin Owens ran in, and people in the chat were telling me, because I'm not watching Raw, that they're gonna tag team again. It's the 8th time they've been a fucking tag team.
Yeah.
And I think the Mania match is gonna be them versus the Usos.
That seems
what the fuck?
It just seems
everyone's oh, that match elevated Sami. To what? Fucking
No. Sami will never be at that height ever again in the rest of his life. That actually de-escalated him. That actually took him down from his peak.
Yeah.
That he was within reach of grasping the championship.
Yep.
And they knocked him down the hill, and I don't know if he'll climb back up again.
Even if they try to redo it, it's it just won't feel genuine. That was wrestling. Just a guy getting over and people being for it, and then you get that push. Everything else will just feel forced post that.
It's weird because I read this book The World According to Dutch is written by Dutch Mantel, and he talks about his time coming into Impact, and he was put in charge of the Knockout division, which is like the women's wrestling division of Impact in the early It was still it was kind of like competing with the divas, but like they're sexy, but they hit each other,
dude.
And he laid
Come
out
a long way.
He laid out this like game plan. He's like, this is how I ran the promotion, and he's like, and this is classic wrestling. I was doing it by the book. It was so old it seemed new. And basically it was have a monster heel come in and squash your babyface champion.
Yeah.
And then that heel is the champion. And he's like, and this is the beauty of it, because every week we'll bring out a new face, a new badass that you think this guy's going to finally take this asshole down. And every week that heel just chews up and spits out whoever you send at him. And I feel like that's what they're doing with Roman. But he's not, and I don't follow WWE, so maybe I'm talking out of turn here. But to me, it just doesn't feel like he's a true heel. You know, it feels like it kind of goes both ways. Like, depending on his match, he's a heel or he's a face.
I think the
like,
stuff.
Do we love him? Do we hate him? I'm not sure.
The stuff with Sami is, to me, I mean, I haven't been really watching it either, but has felt more like their attempt to go full heel with him.
Yeah. And I'm not commenting of whether this is good or bad.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking this is what their approach is with Roman Reigns. Like, he's our monster heel, and we're going to have faces that you love, that you really hope will beat him, but they never beat him. I feel like that's what they're doing with him.
So this leads me to what I covered next. Do you think Cody's beating him at WrestleMania? Do you think they'll let us come?
That's a tough call. I don't know if I want to come to Cody.
I don't think any of us do, but
yeah. So maybe, I don't know, because like Cody in AEW was a face when everybody wanted him to be a heel, and he actually got run out of the company because he refused to turn heel.
That's what was making me laugh in the chat, because I was talking about it, and everyone's like, "I think he's turning heel at Mania," and I was like, "You're not ready for that. You're not ready for that disappointment."
He's not turning heel.
You're not ready for that disappointment.
The dude walked out of a company that he started because he didn't want to turn heel.
Exactly.
He's not turning heel. I think they gave him a deal, and they said, you can fight, you can win. You won't have to turn heel.
Yeah.
I think that's the deal they offered him.
He said recently his deal was what got him to sign is they said, "You want to wrestle Seth?" And he went, "Yeah." That's what he said on a podcast recently.
He did wrestle Seth.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, that's what got you. You were so that unhappy. You were down for that.
I'm not Cody. I don't know what his strategy is with his character, what he's trying to do with it. From the outside, it seems like, well, let's just rewind and talk about what the problem was with him in AEW.
Yeah.
Before he even came to WWE. He's in AEW, but he has this reality show.
Yeah, I miss it.
I missed Roads to Riches. Was it Roads to Riches or Roads to the Top?
Roads to the Top, yeah.
Roads to the Top. He had a reality show, and he was also the host of like an America's Got Talent knockoff.
The Go Big Show.
The Go Big Show. So he had these two very non-wrestling mainstream shows. I mean, Roads to the Top, the reality show, was very wrestling skewed, but he was trying to reach a mainstream audience, and I think he wanted to be The Rock. I think he wanted to be America's sweetheart, and he was conflicted because on the AEW wrestling show, the fans see that and they start to resent it, and they start to legitimately hate him, which puts him in a situation where it's like, if you want to continue wrestling, the fans hate you. You need to turn heel. But for his TV career, he's like, well, I need to fucking stay fucking face. Like, I fucking need that for my TV career.
Yeah.
It was actually, from a viewer, it was one of the most fascinating storylines unintentionally in AEW. Will Cody turn heel and sacrifice his television career to do it? He refused to do it. He quit the company. He went to WWE. So that, I feel like, is the starting point for this question. Will he win at WrestleMania? I don't know. I am still one of those fans who is demanding the heel turn.
Yeah.
I'm still demanding it. I'm still waiting. I don't want him to win as a face. I like Cody. I just feel like that's the way the tides shifted. It's the organic way it's slanted. The fans wanted it. And in wrestling, you gotta fucking give the fans what they want. This shit is not real. It's a fucking...
Yeah.
You're orchestrating this for the fans' like satisfaction. That's the whole point of why we're here.
It's
if
just
you're gonna delay the satisfaction, in theory, I think it's to make the later satisfaction more satisfying. That's what I would hope.
Yeah.
I hope you're not just flaunting the fan expectation repeatedly just to do it, just to say fuck them, just to rub it in their face with no payoff. I just hope that's not the situation, because that's not fun. You know what I mean?
That's what WWE did for years. When I was watching, when I was fully in watching Raw, SmackDown, NXT, it never felt like I was getting what I wanted unless I was watching NXT. So now, Triple H is in control of creative, so I don't know.
So
yeah,
what I think will happen with Cody, actually, I think history will repeat itself. I think that the WWE fans are where the AEW fans were 3 years ago.
Yeah.
When Cody had that match with his brother and then took the sledgehammer to the chair.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck yes.
They're like, this is our
This
guy.
guy's a fucking god. And they're going to watch as his ego inflates, as his promos become so insanely out of touch.
Yeah.
With I'm giving you exactly what you want. And then slowly you're thinking, nah, you're kind of not. I feel like it's going to happen exactly the same way it happened in AEW. There's going to be this slow turn on the fan base, and he's going to be in the exact same position where he's like, the fans want me to turn heel, but you know what? By golly, I'm not going to fucking do it. And then we'll see where he goes from there.
I'm gonna jump around to what I have on my docket here, because I do want to bring this up. There's been I was talking about it before. There's not a lot of information out there, but there's so many rumors about Kenny Omega going to WWE, and that shit would crack me up if Cody went there to do this whole thing and then gets completely overshadowed by Kenny Omega.
Somebody I think in the chat said Cody, in my opinion, and I don't watch WWE, so if this is offensive and off base, I apologize. But from what I've seen, his matches are better than the average WWE match.
Cody?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think he is arguably the best wrestler they have.
Yeah, I would say that. It's like a short list. I would be like him, Gunther. I
really
know who else is
I
wrestling
really
there.
think his time away from WWE has influenced his style, and that it's actually elevated his style beyond the people who have stayed in WWE for that same duration.
Yeah.
I think he got some fresh experience, some fresh perspective on what other audiences want.
Mm-hmm.
And he's able to take that knowledge back to WWE, and I think he can outperform the people who don't have that experience.
Yeah, it feels like he's willing to do more of those unsafe bumps. He's not fully doing the WWE style. I feel like he's doing more bell to bell, which has always been his thing. He always says when they start AEW, he's like, I want wrestlers who are bell to bell, and I'm like, fuck yeah, because I was tired of I'm always tired of WWE. Oh, this dude's in a fucking chokehold for 5 minutes. What's happening?
I think that he's been in a promotion, AEW, where they've had to be hungry and fight to prove that they deserve to be on TV with WWE, and he is in a very I'm gonna prove it kind of mentality that's carried over
100%.
So that doesn't answer your question about what if Cody comes in, but
or Kenny.
If Kenny comes in, I think it will definitely remove that specialty from Cody. He won't he won't be the only guy who's been wrestling with these other promotions for the past few years. And then frankly, I'm a Kenny Omega fan. I know you're a Kenny Omega fan. I know we're both stoked that he was #1 ranked wrestler last year for the second time in PWI. I don't think he was this year. I think the new ranking came out and he wasn't #1.
Yeah, I think MJF is #1 right now, which is very surprising. I was just at Barnes & Noble's and I looked and it was MJF #1. I was like, oh.
Dude, I think my PWI subscription ran out.
Yeah.
I just realized. Shit,
Sorry
I gotta
about
renew. Yeah, what the fuck, Johnny? So yeah, that is basically my short way of saying I think Cody is doing fucking great in WWE and is probably the top guy there right now. But if Kenny came over, that would definitely bump him down.
It would be hard because
I think
to us he's the top guy, but WWE, they know nothing about Kenny Omega. They knew Cody, they knew Stardust, and even dashing Cody Rhodes. I could also see Kenny flopping in WWE. One promo and he might be done.
No,
I love him, but
nah.
But
that's not gonna happen.
but if he puts on the fucking like a 7-star match with Roman Reigns, everyone's like, oh, this
Kenny
is the guy.
Omega is already established. I remember watching WWF in the 2000s before it was WWE, and honestly, I was there for the debut of Chris Jericho.
Oh yeah,
and I had no idea who Chris Jericho was at the time. I had no idea, and I'll be real with you, I fucking hated Chris Jericho. I'll be honest with you, I hated Chris Jericho up until about 2 years ago.
Okay,
I've never been a fan. I just never got Chris Jericho. He always seemed like he was, and you'll agree, like he's kind of more bark than bite. Like he oversells himself. He always talks up what he can do. That being said, my point is I was like 15 at the time, total dumbass kid. Just loved wrestling, bought into it. Thought Chris Jericho wasn't shit.
Yeah,
but Chris Jericho's still here. Chris Jericho proved himself before he came to the WWE. And I think Kenny Omega is the same situation. If you've never heard of him, it doesn't matter. He's already proven himself.
They should bring back the Y2J countdown if Kenny Omega comes in. That'd be fucking awesome. But yeah, Chris Jericho for me, like I had always heard his name before I was into wrestling. And then when I got into wrestling was right when he was doing his Kevin Owens shtick, where it was like they were best friends and then they turned on each other. And that shit was so fucking goofy and I loved it. That Jericho has been over for me ever since. And I think his early AEW stuff was and then like mid AEW stuff, 10 out of 10. Now I'm like, yo, this dude needs to retire. I love Jericho, but like I'm tired of seeing Jericho.
Jericho is doing, I think, the best work of his entire career in AEW. And I've said this to you privately.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've said this publicly, but like this dude has already cemented his place in wrestling history. He's a superstar. He doesn't need to be going as hard as he is.
No.
He's honestly at the tail end of his career. He's putting on, in my opinion, some of the most interesting and captivating matches story-wise that I've seen. Especially like with the Nick Cage match, the Trials of Jericho, that thing last year.
The Nick Gage match.
Nick Gage? Yeah, sorry, not Nicolas Cage. Nick Gage, when he had to work his way up to MJF.
Oh, dude, sorry. Side note, Jericho recently did an interview and he said he didn't know that fool was going to pull out a pizza cutter.
That's awesome.
He didn't.
They lost their Pizza Hut sponsorship because of that match.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
Nick Gage showed up for one night and caused so much fucking problems for AEW.
Amazing.
Cost them $1 million sponsorship and cut Jericho with a pizza cutter. That's awesome. Anyways, point is, Jericho doesn't need to be going this hard. He's already cemented his place. The fact that he wants to wrestle to this level, to me, shows like his spirit, that he really loves wrestling, that he does it for the love of the game, and it's actually made me respect him so much.
Yeah.
To see him at 53 putting on matches with like 20-year-olds, and they are main event matches. And I don't think of him as a 53-year-old.
No, me either.
I forget that he is like maybe one of the last guys from the Attitude Era who's still active. Undertaker's gone, Stone Cold's gone, The Rock wrestles sometimes, Mankind's gone.
Yeah.
The list goes on and on. Jericho's like Jericho and Dustin, but Dustin barely fucking wrestles too, and not at the level of Jericho does.
No.
So shouts out Jericho. You've won me over.
His Ring of Honor championship run was my favorite shit was one of my favorite shit from last year. I really enjoyed that. I kind of bummed me out how quick they were to just be like, whatever, he's done. And now like I don't give a fuck. Action Andrade or the fuck. He like lost to some jobber. It's awful. I hate it.
Oh yeah, I've fallen off, as you know, probably in the last 6 months, as everyone out there has. AEW has been going through a lot of story turnover, and just it's been hard to get hooked on any of those stories lately.
And we talked about it earlier because Rampage had 200,000 viewers this week, which is the lowest it's ever been. It didn't even rank in the top 50 of viewership. Also, my favorite thing, fucking Smarks are now obsessed with TV ratings. That's hilarious to me because no one gives a shit about that except wrestling fans.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, AEW is in a little decline. We were talking about it. I think Tony Khan is hitting rock bottom right now, and we're gearing up for like the fucking return of the century.
You know what I would love with AEW? I don't think this storyline will ever happen, but I would love for somebody to do a storyline where a young guy just shows up and tells Jericho he's not cool.
I mean, MJF kind of
No, but for real, like they
Yeah.
just like it comes down to like, bro, Fozzy,
Yeah, Fozzy.
the shit's fucking whack. Like they're just
Jericho would be so salty. If you
yeah,
said that.
exactly. But Jericho gets so salty. He's
Yeah.
like, come to the ring and say that to my face.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and you're just like, I know this is a work, but also Jericho hates to hear this. Like he doesn't want to hear he's not cool. He probably really wants to beat this kid's ass.
Dude, you're blowing my mind. Oh, if like Wednesday, like Ethan Page came out and said, "Hey," like wasn't
Yeah.
even doing like his Ethan Page voice and
Yeah.
just said, "Hey,
Hey, just want to be real, Jericho.
sucks.
Fozzy sucks.
Top guy.
You're fucking. You're old. You think you're cool, but this whole rocker gimmick is fucking cringe. If he just said that, like,
acts like it's a pipe bomb."
yeah,
dude,
feud of the century
for real.
Like that's. I mean, you don't have to work hard to make these stories interesting. You just gotta put some stakes in it.
Kenny Omega's talked about that a lot. Like whenever people like give him shit for his promo, he says like, "I don't want to be just some dude that's copying the Attitude Era."
Yeah.
And I feel like I agree with that. A lot of wrestlers like, I'm gonna come in there and I'm gonna break your neck. It's like, but we want is like that, like some guy to come out and be like, Jericho.
I
You
don't
fucking suck.
want the Attitude Era because the Attitude Era was fucking trashy. Like you had
Yeah.
Val Venus and his finisher was the money shot. Like I don't want a porn star wrestler and they jizz on you for a finish. Like the Attitude Era, like Stone Cold beating up Vince McMahon was cool.
Yeah.
And The Rock fighting Stone Cold was cool. And anything Mankind did was cool.
Mm.
And then beyond that, it's like there's a like sharp decline into like this is really cringy, you know, like it becomes like half cool. Like ICP was in a stable with the
yeah.
oddities, like cool if you're a juggalo, you know, like it becomes debatable how actually cool the Attitude Era is after those top 3 storylines are checked off the list.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when that shit was happening, and I did not get it. Like, I was a little kid, and I was like, this is fake. Like everyone else, bums me out that I feel like watching as an adult, I was like, oh, I would have loved this if I just someone explained it to me.
Hating since '87 said easy with the oddity slander, bro. You and me are the only 2 guys who still remember the oddities.
Don Callis.
Fondly.
Don
Callis was in the oddities.
He was in the oddities, right?
Dude, with his long hair, you wouldn't recognize Don Callis. He looked so like goth and fucking ripped, dude. He looked like the villain from The Crow.
When I first got into New Japan and he was doing commentary, I was like, who's this guy? And I Googled him and I saw those photos. I was like, what the fuck happened?
Dude, Don Callis used to be like OG cool.
He was fucking cool. He still is cool. I'll give him that.
No, Don Callis still is cool, but he's cool in like I like this old guy, the rich guy. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, this guy's smart. He used to be like fucking cool, like steal your girlfriend on his motorcycle cool.
Okay.
You know, real cool.
An
Coolest
actual
of the
cool man.
Actual cool.
I want to ask your opinion on this.
Okay.
But did you see who showed up at New Japan?
CM Punk was at
there.
New Japan. I would love to see CM Punk enter New Japan.
He was slumming it. He was in the fucking rafters.
Those are cheap
Yeah.
seats. I mean, we've been at that venue and we had better seats.
Yeah. How do you think he's gonna show up in New Japan, or you think he's just? I kept making jokes. I was like, do you think he's a fan of wrestling? Probably not.
I would love for CM Punk to show up in New Japan.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
it would be the best place for him because nobody speaks English. So all the shit talking he does wouldn't offend anybody.
well, here's the other thing. The wrestler Kenta fucking hates CM Punk. And he even tweeted, he was like, I heard that my biggest fan in the world came to the arena last night. I hope he enjoys a real go to sleep. And everyone's like, that's shoot. Like, that's real. Like, Kenta really, like, this guy in the chat says Kenta's going to kick his teeth in. Like, that would be real. That would be an actual problem.
CM Punk.
He's hated everywhere.
CM Punk is a walking storyline. And everywhere
lives
he
the gimmick.
goes, it's like, you may not be a fan of him as a wrestler, but any drama he has is captivating. That's his true superpower as a wrestler. Any fucking conversation or argument he has with anybody is fun to listen to. You know, to
an extent, I guess.
Do you think that he's he's ever gotten boring with the shit that he says?
No, but I think the brawl out stuff was like.
Was it boring?
No, but I kept having this moment of like, you're too old for this shit, man. Like,
oh, that's why it was so fun to watch. That's why I hoped it would turn into an actual match.
Yeah.
I was like, you got gold here. Now fucking set up the pay-per-view and ring the bell. You've done all the hard work.
You know,
you didn't televise the match. It fucking happened backstage. I didn't witness the biting.
If those fools didn't actually get into a fist fight, that shit would have happened. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope people can patch things up now, but it's looking grim currently.
I want everybody to patch everything up.
Yeah.
I think, like, in any business, dude, it's not fun hating somebody. It's not fun having a grudge. I have people that fucking piss me off. I have people that I don't like, but I don't want to, like, actively on a day-to-day basis be thinking about, like, when am I going to see them? What am I going to do? I don't, avoiding them.
Sucks, yeah.
Like, especially with wrestling, like, you're creating fake fights.
Mm-hmm.
So don't lose sight of what what the job is. Like, don't get wrapped up in real fights if your job is to create fake fights, because like, how could that be good? How could that be fun and conducive to good business?
I think I can see the Young Bucks because they're so Christian.
Don't work yourself into a shoot. Thank you, Mr. Mingo.
I could see them kind of at some point down the line be like, all right, we forgive Punk. But I don't know. I wish I knew.
You could see what?
The Young Bucks down the line because they're so Christian.
Yeah.
Like I could see them be like, all right,
we forgive you.
We're going to take the Jesus route.
I think that this is a generational gap. I think it's the changing of the guard. I feel like CM Punk, had his run cut short and feels like he still has gas left in the tank. I feel like he wants to come back and resume his career where he left it off in 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
Which was like, I was the fucking best wrestler in the world. I got fucking dicked around and I walked out. These guys are going to treat me with respect. I'm going to come back and continue to be the best wrestler in the world. I think that's his mentality. And in that intervening time, you've had this new, half generation of wrestlers come up who are like, yeah, we were younger when you were on top, but you've been gone for a while and we've filled that role. And frankly, you left, so we don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
And that's as a fan, that's fucking gold. That is the best fucking storyline for a wrestling show. Mm. But if that's how they really feel, I can understand how they just don't want to work together. I could understand that. Yeah.
It was funny because like the more came out about it, and it kind of like Punk said like, oh, it's because of XYZ. But the more he talked about it, the more it sounded he was just genuinely mad that no one wanted to take his advice backstage except FTR. And that's why he loved FTR. And it's like, bro, are you really, like, even the chat's saying it, they're like, he became the old guy telling the kids they're doing it wrong, like the WWE did to him back in the day. Like, the cycle continues.
I understand why, though, because he was never allowed to shine.
Yeah, that's true.
He had the tools and considered himself to be the best wrestler in the world, but also felt like he was being held down and was never able to show off. And now that all these years have passed, maybe physically he doesn't have that capability anymore, but he sees other people who do, and he's thinking like, yo, I had a moment where I was on my way to being the number one wrestler in the world. Let me tell you what I was doing in that moment. And they're like, I don't care. And he's like, can I tell you? And they're like, no, I really don't fucking care. And he's like, these fucking children, you know what I mean?
I have a feeling it was Darby Allin too, because Darby Allin seems like that type of guy. Like, yeah, man, I'm just gonna skateboard. I don't care.
Yeah, and I'm not involved. I'm not taking sides. I'm just speculating on what the atmosphere might be, and trying to. I hear these stories as a fan from the outside, and I think like, well, what is the situation where a story like this might come out from? I'm trying to reverse engineer an idea of what it's like in the locker room, but I don't know. I'm speculating. Maybe this is all fucking work and we're just dumb. Maybe we're just fucking dumb.
I mean, Tony Khan has a big announcement this week. What if he's just like,
CM Punk is back.
Punk. Dude, the fucking world would, oh dude.
Kevin Nash is all elite.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be fucking rad, dude. Where's Paul White? Is he still All Elite?
Yeah. Oh, he recently said that he's gonna wrestle again or something. Even though he had that retirement match with QT Marshall, he was like, "I'm ready to wrestle again," and everyone's like, "Please don't."
What?
Yeah, he said it. I mean, I saw like I didn't read the article, but I saw like a headline that said Paul White says he's ready to wrestle again.
Oh yeah. Well, we got through Ric Flair's last match with nobody dying, so here's to Paul White.
Dude, Shane McMahon is All Elite. We still have not heard from Shane McMahon post getting fired. That would be awesome.
Shane McMahon is All Elite, and he announces it by jumping off the Titantron at a fucking Dynamite. Doing the most insane spot. I love Shane McMahon. I wish he would come. Why even speculate?
I feel like he doesn't want to get cut out of the will.
That'll never happen.
Well,
the Pope is All Elite at that point.
Dude.
What else? What else do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I kind of hit all my stuff, so if you want to talk about anything or just talk to the chat, I'm good. I've been going for a couple hours, so I'm a little tired, but I could keep it up.
I reinvigorated you with my energy.
I was about to end it right as you ran it. So this is great. I really enjoy doing this. I would love to do this more. I didn't know what to call it, so I called it Wrestling Club. But if you ever want to do more,
nice Wrestling Club.
Yeah, I kept telling the chat, I'm like, I don't know if I can call it that. But.
When it comes to Raw is War, I just finished the 1994 Royal Rumble. It was the Royal Rumble where Kevin Nash, Diesel, eliminated like 16 people by himself.
God.
By himself. He's basically like in the ring by himself, just go like, come on, who's next? And then somebody will come down. He just beats the shit out of him and throws him out of the ring. I think it made his career, honestly. I bet. I was reading about it. They're like, after that Royal Rumble, Vince knew that this was going to be like a champion. And that this was the Royal Rumble that put him on the map. And there's a spot in it where he goes up against the wrestler Virgil and like, fucking potatoes the shit out of him. Like gives him actual elbows to the face. And I was reading about that too. And Kevin Nash was like, yeah, Virgil was supposed to get out of the ring, decided to hang around. So I had to give him a couple shots and throw his ass over the rope.
Damn. That's awesome.
I love watching this stuff from 30 years ago because all the cats are out of the bag. Anything that looks like, oh, is that real? Was there fucking beef there? It's all been talked about. You can get the backstory on literally everything. And so you get super insight into what happened 30 years ago because nobody cares anymore.
I wish filmmaking had a similar kind of thing. I would love to listen to Steven Spielberg shoot interviews or some shit. Like, yo, this is
fuck Jurassic Park.
Yeah, let me tell you about Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I don't know what he would say there. I want to put fucking Megalodon in there. They fucking let me.
They wouldn't let me do shit. I'm Steven Spielberg. Anyway.
All right. Well, we can wrap it up.
Okay.
I made you go an extra hour.
No, this is fun. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or I don't want to cut you off?
No, that's everything I wanted to talk about.
Right,
cool. I hope MJF has a great match against Daniel Bryan.
Oh, God. Dude, 60-minute Iron Man match. How long is this fucking pay-per-view going to be?
I've never seen MJF, I'm excited to see MJF do a 60-minute match.
I guess.
I want to see how he pulls it off,
I've seen Kenny do it, and even, like, there are moments where I'm like, damn, all right, we're going 60 minutes. That's crazy.
60 minutes.
That's fucking it's so long.
I think that this is why I'm interested in seeing it. I'll tell you why real quick.
Yeah.
This is MJF's first championship title run. I feel like he hasn't really tested his mettle.
This will be that
as
moment.
A champion. I feel like he is acutely aware that he's yet to put on a banger match as a champion, and this is the chance to do it. And they've kind of set the expectation really high with a 60-minute Iron match. I mean, they've set the bar very high. Daniel Bryan is experienced enough to know, like, if we're going to set the bar that high, like, we're going to have to fucking hit it. He's probably talking to MJF like, bro, like, if this match sucks, you're not going to WWE next year.
I just feel like, is Danielson getting the title? I don't know.
That's irrelevant to me.
He should, like, fucking give him the title, dude.
I don't care who wins. I just want the match to be hard fought.
Yeah.
I don't care who wins.
I mean, they're both good. I mean, MJF has been, like, whatever these past few weeks, but, like, He's not a bad wrestler. Like, I think that'll be a good match.
MJF?
Yeah.
He's not a bad wrestler. I read PWI last year did a write-up of him. And they're like, we love MJF. He just needs to wrestle more often. He is always on the microphone cutting these amazing promos, but he rarely backs it up in the ring.
Yeah.
And once they said that, it kind of opened my eyes to like, yeah, he kind of does save himself for pay-per-views.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's what he does. Which
he's like
he's in the position to do it.
the antithesis.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, he's like the antithesis of like a Darby Allin, where like Darby Allin's like, I'm gonna break my fucking back doing this shit, and MJF is like,
not worth it. Pay me.
Yeah, pay me more, and I'll hurt myself.
Yeah. When it's dude, okay, question for you.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Darby Allin be champion, or do you think MJF is the better heavyweight champion in AEW?
Darby Allin, for the amount of like lifelong injuries he's probably gotten in AEW, he should be a fucking champion.
Well, he is the TNT champion 2-time.
Not anymore.
Well, 2-time. He won it 2 times.
No, I meant like the actual the heavyweight championship.
Yeah.
I think he deserves that. He is probably the most marketable homegrown talent they have. People love him.
Isn't MJF younger than Darby?
I don't know anyone's age, but
I think
I could see that.
I gotta look this up because
Yeah.
I'm under the impression that Darby is about 26 and MJF is like 24, 25.
I just feel like the window's closing, and Darby should have a title run at some point in his career at AEW. Imagine the fucking banger. Like, imagine him as as the fucking champ.
Darby Allin is 30 years old.
Holy shit. Homie needs to slow the fuck down.
MJF is 26.
Oh my god.
So Darby Allin is older than MJF,
Bruh.
goes harder than MJF, wrestles more often than
Yeah.
MJF, but has a smaller title. Food for thought.
Dude,
What do you all think about that?
it's not good.
He's fucking
I think it's because MJF is kind of the total package, and I understand, like, he can wrestle and he can talk, where Darby, like, his promos are always fucking weird,
dude, okay.
and they're not great.
I've heard it said by professional wrestlers in the industry that being good on the microphone is more important than being good in the ring.
I agree.
And I think MJF is the perfect example of
Yeah.
that. And this whole MJF Darby situation.
I think people have kind of talked about it, and they're like, why haven't MJF and Kenny ever gone at it? It's like, because I think MJF would, like, literally decimate him on the mic.
He would.
Like, it would be sad.
MJF is the champion because he's the best talker there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that's definitely the case.
He's getting blowjobs in cars. He's Did you hear that his promo? He talked about getting, like, roadhead and then getting into a car accident, and it was people thought it was real that they contacted his hometown's local police and told him about the promo. And they were like, I guess we're looking into this. I don't know. Is this real?
Well, I told you that Marty Jannetty tweeted out that he killed a person and they opened up an investigation into it. And then he tweeted out like, I guess the authorities don't understand wrestling promos.
I got to show you. You just reminded me.
And I still don't know if Marty Jannetty killed somebody or
Dude.
not. I think the fucking cops are still investigating it. Oh, God.
Did you see this Lex Luger tweet?
Another day, thank you, Lord. And it's the Windows
The
fucking...
Windows fucking-
Dude.
I had to retweet it. It was cracking me up.
Hey. Oh,
Dude,
Lex Luger
He
is...
posted a fucking Bible quote with the fucking windows.
Lex Luger's a fucking treat, dude.
I think he probably just Googled like
Beautiful view.
beautiful scenery, and he got the windows background.
Well, you know, he's the only guy in America who could body slam Yokozuna, so I'll let
There
him
you
get
go.
I'll let him get away with it.
That's all that matters.
All right. Well, this has been fun. We can wrap this
Sure.
up, I think.
Thanks for watching, everyone, for the first episode of Wrestle Club. I don't know what else to say. I'm so fucking tired, but
Tune in on Saturday for a new episode of Mega Strange.
yeah, there you go.
Obviously.
Check out the Board Game Olympics if you haven't. Shop.mega64.com. All that stuff is still up.
Hating since 87 said Marty was questioned and claimed kayfabe as his defense and was let go.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
All right.
So he got away with murder. Good for him. All right. See you later, everybody.
Good night,
Enjoy
everyone.
wrestling. Wait, no, that's somebody else's slogan. Body slam your neighbor. Goodbye.